One. The smell of old age. The secret no one dare tell. Your grandkid sniffing you and screaming, "Grandpa, you smell like a dead skunk farted in a dumpster full of rotten socks." Then zooming off faster than a cat on a Roomba. That's me, Dr. Henry Thompson, 77 years old, wrinkly as a dried-up prune. And yeah, I've been that stinky old fart. 50 years ago, I swaggered around as a hotshot doc, dreaming I'd age like Brad Pitt, smooth, sexy, smelling like $1,000,000. Wrong. I aged like a gym sock festering in a teenager's locker. And my grandkid Timmy, my little cuddle monster, sniffed me one day and hollered, "Grandpa, you're a walking foot fungus factory." I chuckled, kids say the darndest things. Then bawled into my pillow like a soap opera reject, mascara running, if I wore any. That night, I swore on my stethoscope, "I'm busting this old age stink wide open, or I'll twerk myself into the grave like a lunatic." After 50 years and 10,000 seniors saved from the stinkpocalypse, I've got the juiciest, nastiest secret nobody dares whisper, and a fix so wild. Betty's twerking on TikTok, Whoopi's trending, and you're about to join the smell-slaying circus. Don't you dare scroll away. This is the stinkiest roller coaster you'll ever ride, and it's gonna change your life. Let's roll back to Betty Miller, 68, Florida's cuddliest grandma, until her stink bomb blew up her world. Picture this. Betty's in her sunny kitchen, apron on, twirling her 5-year-old granddaughter Lily like they're in a Disney movie, giggles, hugs, the works. Then BAM Lily sniffs, scrunches her nose like she smelled a sewer explosion, and pipes up, "Grandma, why do you smell like a mummy's but after a chili cook-off?" Her mom swoops in, all nervous. "Oh, honey, it's just Grandma's special scent." But Betty's no dummy. That scent slammed her like a wrecking ball. Next day, Lily's dodging her lap like it's a hot stove, scrunching her nose at hugs like Betty's a walking landfill. That night, Betty dove under her blanket, sobbing like a ghost in a bad horror flick. "I scrub twice a day. I'm cleaner than a nun's laundry basket. Why's my grandkid treating me like I'm a zombie who forgot to shower?" She rang me up, voice cracking. "Dr. Henry, I'm so clean I squeak. Am I a trash heap now?" I said, "Betty, calm your britches. It's not you. It's the stink gremlin that sneaks up on all us old fogies. Hang tight. 'Cause Betty's about to twerk her way out of this mess, and you're hitching a ride. But hold your noses, this ain't just Betty's stink show. This is every senior's nightmare. Ever plopped down on a bus, and the seat next to you stays emptier than a ghost town saloon? Or hugged your grandkid, only to see them sprint like you're a fart cloud with legs? That's the old age smell curse. Folks, 99% of us over 60 don't even smell it. But trust me, everyone else does. Take George Carter, 71, Seattle's tittiest grandpa, showers every morning, house sparkling like a car commercial. One day, his son's buddies crash the pad, and George overhears, "Man, that old guy smells like a wet dog drowned in a dumpster." He slunk to his room, muttering, "Am I a garbage pile now?" And didn't come out for days. Or Nancy Clark, 68, she's scrubbing like she's prepping for surgery, but her grandkid sniffs and bolts like Nancy's a biohazard on wheels. "Dr. Henry," she cried, "I'm cleaner than a hospital floor. Why's my family acting like I rolled in roadkill? Kids are the worst nose ninjas with zero filter." My patient Ruth, 73, sobbed, "My grandson said I smell like sweaty cheese. Now he won't hug me." I bawled with her, "'Cause it's real, and it's breaking our hearts." Now, here's the Tin Nong Ruk Chai to blow your stinky socks off. Last night, Whoopi Goldberg dropped a stink nuke on X. I scrubbed 3 secret spots, and my old age smell's gone poof like a bad fart. 5 million likes in a blink. Her armpits are trending harder than her egots. Then TikTok's hashtag SmellSlayer challenge went full psycho, 10M views overnight. Granny's twerking like it's a 90s rap video after ditching the whiff. The Guardian's flipping tables. 2025 NHS trials say seniors can smell like roses. Scientists are crying into their lab coats. Even Tom Brady's flexing on Insta. Salmon keeps me from stinking like a locker room. 8M likes. His biceps are stealing the Super Bowl spotlight. This ain't gossip, it's a stink-slaying revolution. And you're the next stink-slaying rock star. But wait, this isn't just about Betty or George, it's a society-wide stink scandal. Let's sniff out the crime scene ever hugged your gramps and thought, "Whoa, that's funky," but zipped it 'cause you're too polite to say, "Yo, you stink." That's the stink conspiracy, folks. We're KYT plain and simple. Buses clear out like you're a fart grenade. Windows fly open like you're a walking sewer, and nobody pipes up, "Hey, Grandpa, you're ripe." They just ghost you. My patient Linda, 69, told me, Dr. Henry, my grandkid won't sit on my lap, says I smell like a sweaty gym sock. She eyeballed too. James Parker, 75, his son, airs out the room like James is a fart factory on legs. My grandkids avoid me, he sighed. And I'm cleaner than a priest's collar. It's not them, it's us, the young uns. The society snobs turning noses at our elders. Con-side dodge hugs, friends vanish. And we're left wondering, am I a monster? No, you're a legend. And I'm here to save your nose, your hugs, and your dignity. But don't panic. You stinky superheroes, I've got 50 years of stink-busting science up my wrinkly sleeve. And it's about to blow your mind harder than Betty twerking at a bingo night. Take Frank Wilson. 88, he splashed cologne like a perfume factory blew up. Thinking he's a floral prince. His son still flings the window open like Frank's a skunk on fire. Dr. Henry, he begged. I smell like a rose garden, why's my kid running like I'm a landfill with legs? I told him, Frank, cologne on old age stink is like spraying air freshener on a turd, it's a fancy fart fiesta. He laughed, till he cried, 'cause it's true. We're not dirty, our bodies are pulling a traitor move after 60. Sweat dries up, skin oil turns funky. Mouths go Sahara, it's a smell-pocalypse. But I've got a fix so insane. Betty's twerking on TikTok. George is jogging marathons, and Frank's bowling with grandkids climbing him like a sweaty jungle gym. Here's the real stink bomb. You don't have to live like a skunk in exile, I've cracked the code, and it's cheaper than a pack of gum at the dollar store. Imagine Nancy cuddling Lily again, George strutting proud. And you not stinking up the bus like a fart factory on wheels. This ain't just about sniffing good, it's a screaming wake-up call. Society's ditching our old folks, sniffing them out like they're trash. And it's gotta stop. Kids dodge laps, friends ghost, and we're left hiding in our rooms, thinking, am I the bad guy? Hell no, you're the hero, and I'm your stink-slaying sidekick. 3 minutes a day, that's all it takes to zap 90% of that whiff. No fancy gadgets, no million-dollar potions, just stuff you've got in your kitchen and bathroom right now. Picture this. You're Betty, twerking stink-free with Lily hugging you like a koala. Or George, jogging past his son's buddies, who are yelling, damn, he smells like a champ. This is your stink-slaying lifeline, Kansai. Listen up. Stop sniffing and ditching your folks, help them fight this stink monster. Society's got blood on its hands, leaving seniors lonely cause of a whiff we won't name. Drop stinks real, you funky freaks. In the comments if your jaw's on the floor, smash that like button like you're squashing a skunk. Hit subscribe, I'm dragging you into this smell-slaying circus. Share this with your gramps, your mom, your nosy neighbor. 'Cause if we don't slay this stink, we're burying our elders in loneliness. Betty's saga's just heating up, Whoopi's cheering. TikTok's ablaze, you're the next stink-slaying legend. So don't you dare bail now. 2. The science behind the smell. Why do old people smell without knowing it? Alright, you funky fossils, Betty's twerking her way out of Stinkville, and you're still here, sniffing your armpits, wondering, is Dr. Henry full of hot air? Nope. Last time, I dropped the stink bomb. Your grandkid's nose diving away from you isn't your fault, it's the old age smell gremlins sneaking up after 60. Now, buckle up. 'Cause I'm peeling back the science curtain on why us old-timers pong like a dumpster party and don't even know it. 50 years of sniffing seniors, 10,000 of them taught me this. Our bodies turn traitor, and society's kicking us to the curb for it. George is huffing, Frank's drowning in cologne. Ruth's mouth's a desert, and they're all clueless. Stick with me. Cause this stink science is wilder than Betty twerking at bingo, and it's gonna slap you awake. First up, sweat or the lack of it. Remember George Carter, 71, Seattle's tittiest grandpa from Part 1? Guy's house sparkles like a car ad, but his grandkid bolted, 'cause he smelled like a wet dog drowned in garbage juice. George rang me panting. "Dr. Henry, I barely sweat anymore. Why am I stinking up the joint?" Here's the deal. When you're young, you're a sweat machine dumping a whole liter a day, flushing out toxins like a power washer blasting a filthy porch. After 60, that faucet slows to a dribble less than half a liter. Sounds great, no more pit stains, right? Wrong. Less sweat means all the gunk, dead skin, dirt. Nasty bacteria sticks around like uninvited house guests, throwing a stink rave on your skin. George huffed to grab the mail one day, legs wobbling, and said, "I used to sweat buckets running marathons, now I'm dry as a bone and smell like a landfill." Science says it. Less sweat, more stink, your body's a party pad for whiff-making critters. Picture this. George shuffles out, mail in hand, thinking he's fresh as a daisy. Nope, those bacteria are munching his skin leftovers, pumping out a funk cloud thicker than fog on a spooky night. I told him, "George, your sweat's on strike, and the stink squad's taken over." He laughed. "So I'm a walking petri dish?" Bingo. Back in the day, sweat was your body's bouncer, kicking out the riffraff. Now, it's retired, sipping lemonade, leaving you ponging like a trash heap on legs. My lab geek pals at Harvard, yeah. I've got those nerds on speed dial say sweat glands shrink after 60, letting bacteria run wild like kids in a candy store. George's grandkid didn't just dodge hugs, he ran like George was a fart tornado. That's your first stink villain. Sweat's gone AWOL, and the funk's moving in. Next up, skin oil gone rogue. Say hello to sebum, the greasy traitor. Enter Frank Wilson, 88. Our cologne-drenching desperado from Part 1. Frank's son flung the window open like Frank was a skunk on fire, and Frank wailed, "Dr. Henry, I'm drowning in cologne. Why's my kid treating me like a floral landfill?" Flashback. Frank's splashing fancy juice like he's auditioning for a perfume ad, thinking he's a rose garden god. Nope. His family's gagging, whispering, "He smells like a mummy doused in flower water." Here's the science punch. After 50, your skin oil sebum turns into a funky fiend. Back in your 20s, sebum's a smooth operator, keeping you soft and slick. After 60, it morphs into a greasy stink bomb called non-enol, think oxidized fat, like bacon grease gone bad. I've sniffed this crap for 30 years. Non-enol spikes hard by 70. And it's the sneaky culprit behind that old person with kids can't stand. Frank's skin's pumping it out like an oil rig. And no amount of cologne can mask it. It's like slathering perfume on a rotting fish. I told him, "Frank, your sebum's gone full Frankenstein. Cologne just makes it a fancy corpse." He cackled. "So I'm a walking bacon fart?" Yep. My buddy at McMaster University, another lab coat genius, says non-enol's a chemical punk young folks barely have. But us oldies? We're oozing it. Frank's grandkids didn't just dodge him, they evacuated like he was a stink grenade with a bow tie. That's villain number 2. Your skin's cooking up a funk stew, and you're the clueless chef. Last but nastiest, your mouth turns into a desert wasteland. Meet Ruth, 73, Boston's stare-dodging granny from Part 1. Her grandson ditched hugs, saying she smelled like sweaty cheese, and Ruth sobbed, "Dr. Henry, my mouth's so dry, I can taste the dust. Why's my kid running?" Here's the kicker. After 60, your saliva, your mouth's superhero, drops by over 50%. When you're young, saliva's a ninja, washing away bacteria, keeping your breath minty fresh. After 60, it's on vacation, leaving your gob drier than a cracker in the Sahara. Less spit means more bacteria, throwing a funk fiesta hello. Dragon breath. Ruth told me. I talk, and I smell it my grandkid won't even stand near me. I said, Ruth, your mouth's a ghost town, and the stink posse's taken over. Think about it. Ruth's sipping coffee, chatting away, thinking she's fine. Nope, those bacteria are camping on her tongue, pumping out a whiff that'd knock out a horse. Science backs its saliva's your germ-killing bouncer. And when it bails, your breath turns into a sewer breeze. I've seen it in my clinic. Dry mouth hits hard after 60, and it's a stink bomb nobody warns you about. Ruth's grandson didn't just dodge hugs, he fled like she was a cheese volcano erupting. That's your third stink bandit. Your spit's gone MIA, and your mouth's a funk factory. Add these up, sweat on strike, skin oil gone rogue, mouth drier than burnt toast, and boom. You're ponging like a pro without a clue. Behold your funky horses, here's the hot new to light this stink fire. Tom Brady just flexed on Insta. I eat salmon to dodge the old man whiff. 8M likes, his abs are outshining his stink-free vibes. Whoopi's still trending on X. 3 spots, no smell. 6M likes now. Her pits are the talk of 2025. TikTok's hashtag SmellSlayer challenge is a riot, 12M views. Grandpa's twerking like they're in a rap battle after slaying the funk. The Guardian screaming. NHS says fish beats stink, scientists are shook. This ain't chatter, it's a stink-slaying uprising. Betty's twerking proof she's not just cuddling Lily, she's shaking it stink-free. George, Frank, Ruth, they're clueless victims, but you don't have to be. Now, here's the gut punch society's turning this stink into a silent war. Child, avoid you like the plague, George's son's buddies whispered. He's a wet dog. Frank's kid flung windows like Frank was a fart hurricane. Friends ghost you, Ruth's bingo pal stop calling, too polite to say. You pong. It's not just kids, bus seats stay empty, neighbors dodge chats, and nobody dares yell. You stink. They just vanish. I told George. Your funk's an invisible wall. He groaned. So I'm a trash heap with legs? Yep. Society's stigma sniffing out our elders like they're expired milk. Child, wake up, your folks aren't trash. They're treasures getting punked by biology. But don't despair. You ponging pioneers, I've got the science to flip this stink show. Betty's twerking. George is jogging. Frank's bowling. Why? 'Cause I've got a fix wilder than a fart in a windstorm. No potions, no gimmicks, just tricks from your kitchen and bathroom. Imagine Ruth chatting stink-free. Grandkids climbing her like a tree. This ain't just about smell, it's a battle cry. Society's ditching us, consci dodging us, all cause of a whiff we can't sniff. You funky nuts. In the comments, if this science shocks you, smash that like button like you're crushing a stink bug. Hit subscribe, I'm dragging you into this smell-slaying saga. Share this with your gramps, your nosy aunt. 'Cause if we don't bust this funk, we're leaving our elders to rot in lonely Stinkville. Betty's twerking the way, stick around. You're next. 3. The Odor Eradicator, the 3-point secret, and more. Alright, you ponging pioneers, Betty's twerking her way out of Stinkville. George's grandkid called him a wet dog. Frank's cologne's a fancy fart, and Ruth's mouth's a cheese desert. Last time, I cracked the science vault. Your sweat's on strike, your skin's oozing funky oil, and your spit's bailed like a coward, leaving you stinking like a dumpster rave without a clue. Now, hold your funky noses, 'cause Dr. Henry Thompson, 77 years old, Stink Slayer extraordinaire, is unleashing the battle plan to nuke that old age whiff. After 50 years sniffing seniors, 10,000 of them, I've got tricks so wild. Betty's grandkids hugging her like a koala. George is jogging past his doubters, and Frank's bowling stink-free. This ain't just science, it's a stink-slaying saga, and you're the next hero. Don't blink, 'cause we're diving into the Smell Slayer boot camp. Betty's leading the charge, and you're about to twerk your way to victory. Let's rewind. Betty Miller, our twerking queen from part 1, was sobbing under her blanket, 'cause little Lily ditched her lap, screeching. Grandma's a mummy fart. Part 2 showed us why. Her sweat's AWOL, her skin's a grease bomb, her mouth's a dust bowl. But Betty's no quitter, she rang me. Dr. Henry, I'm cleaner than a priest's socks, fix me. I said, Betty, we're launching Operation Stink Slayer, 3 steps, 3 secret spots, and a pantry tweak. Step 1. Drink water like it's happy hour. Meet Margaret Adams, 72, Ohio's stinkiest granny. Her grandkids dodge her like she was a fart cloud in a tutu. Dr. Henry, she groaned. I'm dry as a brick, why am I ponging? I told her. Margaret, your body's a toxin trap, water's your broom. She chugged 6 glasses a day warm, not ice cold, and bam, a month later, her grandkids sniffed and squealed. Grandma smells like cookies. Here's the juice. After 60, your sweat's slacking, leaving gunk to fester. Water flushes it out like a power hose blasting a muddy truck. Margaret's trick? 1 glass when I wake, 1 before lunch, 1 after, 1 at 3 p.m., 1 before dinner, 1 at bedtime. Boom. Stinks toast. I've seen it. 6 cups daily cuts the funk by 30%. Says my lab pals at Tufts. Betty jumped in. I chugged like a camel. Dr. Henry, Lily's back on my lap. No fancy spa water, taps fine. Warm's best. Cause colds a gut punch. Margaret cackled. I'm not a stink bomb anymore, I'm a cookie cloud. Step 1's your ticket, drink up. Or you're a ponging piñata waiting to pop. Step 2. Strut in the sun like a funky flamingo. Fred Taylor, 71, Texas, was a huffing mess, legs creaking. Grandkids dodging his whiff like he was a barnyard escapee. Dr. Henry, he whined. I can't run, why am I stinking? I said. Fred, you're a stink factory, son, and a stroll, zap it. He shuffled 20 minutes daily, gentle. No marathon nonsense under soft morning rays. 3 weeks later, Fred's trotting like a horse, grandkids yelling. Grandpa's fast and fresh. Sunlight's a bacteria assassin, zaps them like a UV ninja, while a light walk squeezes out just enough sweat to boot the gunk. Fred grinned. Started at 10 minutes, legs yelling, now I'm a stallion. My Harvard nerds nod. 20 minutes of sun-cut skin funk by 25%. Betty joined. I strutted like a peacock, Lily says I smell like sunshine. Before 10 a.m. or after 4 p.m. no frying, just glowing. Step 3. Wash like you're a car at the spa. Susan Brooks, 66, Cali. Ponged so bad her grandkid bolted like she was a garlic fart in flip-flops. Dr. Henry, she cried. I shower, why am I a stink cloud? I said, Susan, you're missing the magic warm waters, your wand. She bathed daily, 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Not scalding, plus a 20-minute soak weekly. 2 weeks in, Susan's grandkid sniffed. You're a cupcake now. Warm water blasts skin gunk like a pressure washer. And a soak opens pores, flushing deep funk like unclogging a drain. Susan laughed. I'm not a stink bomb, I'm a bakery. My clinic stats scream. Daily warm washes / whiff by 40%. Betty hopped on. I soaked like a queen, Lily's hugging me like glue. No hot lava, 100 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, or you'll cook your skin into a funk pie. But here's the stink-slaying gold. 3 secret spots to scrub. Spot 1. Skin folds. Betty's armpit was a rat's nest of funk. Dr. Henry, she confessed. My armpits ponged like a swamp. I said, scrub those creases, neck, pits, groin, behind knees. She chugged water, strutted, then scrubbed with a loofah. 2 weeks later, Lily's hugging her like a bear. Skin folds trap sweat, and bacteria like a stink hotel blast them daily. Susan added, my neck was a funk cave, now it's a hug zone. Spot 2. Hairy patches. Frank's head was a battlefield of whiff. Dr. Henry, he moaned. My scalp's a stink bomb. I said, massage it, shampoo it, lather those locks. He ditched cologne, scrubbed his noggin. Grandkid sniffed. You're a pine tree. Hair traps sebum, scrub it like you're waxing a car. Spot 3. Sweaty zones George's feet were a swamp of doom. "Dr. Henry," he groaned. "My toes pong like a sewer." I said, "Wash them, dry them, feet, palms, the works." He soaked, scrubbed between toes with warm water 3 weeks in. His grandkids like, "You're a fresh breeze." Sweaty spots breed bacteria. Like a petri dish, party, clean them daily. Dry them like a pro. George beamed. "My feet don't clear rooms, I'm a hug magnet." Betty twerked in. "I scrub armpits like scrubbing floors, Lily's glued to me." My clinic's seen it. Scrubbing these spots cuts stink by 90% in a week. No harsh soap, Miles King, or you'll smell like a chemical fart. Now, turbocharge it with pantry power. Paul King, 79. Ponged like a whiskey barrel, grandkids dodged him like he was a barfly ghost. "Dr. Henry," he sighed. "I'm a funk tank." I said, "Paul, munch apple and garlic, antioxidant sap stink." He ate an apple daily. Toss 2 garlic cloves in 2 months later. Grandkid sniffed. "You're a pizza now." Antioxidants slow the stink factory, red fruits, garlic, boom. Linda Harris, 69, reeked of whiskey breath. "Dr. Henry," she whined. "My mouth's a booze bomb." I said, "Cut coffee, ditch rum, flush with pears." She swapped 3 weeks in, grandkids hugged. "You're a fruit salad. Less caffeine, less booze, funk fades fast." Paul laughed. "I'm not a bar, I'm a pizzeria." Linda winked. "No whiskey whiff, I'm a hug machine." Hot new, you funk fighters. J.Lo just hit threads. "Garlic and walks, my stink's gone." 12M views, her glows stink-free. TikTok's hashtag #SmellSlayer challenge is nuts, 15M views. Grannies twerking post scrub like rap stars. NHS whispers, apples beat deodorant. Docs are shook. Betty's nailing it. I armpit scrub. Chug water, Lily's my shadow. George struts. My feet don't pong, I'm a sun god. Frank's off cologne. My head's a forest, grandkids climb me. This ain't chatter, it's war on whiff. And you're enlisted. Here's your battle cry, hashtag #SmellSlayer challenge. 7 days, 3 steps. Chug 6 warm waters, strut 20 minutes in sun, scrub daily, then hit 3 spots. Armpits like rat's nest, head like battlefield, feet like swamp. Film day 1 ponging like a skunk, day 7 twerking like Betty. Tag 3 stinkers, your sweaty gramps, coffee guzzling ant. Booze hound pal, blast TikTok. X, Insta with hashtag #SmellSlayer. Let's hit 20M views by Friday, Betty's twerking for you. Don't be a funk flop. Add apples, garlic, less Java, less rum, and you're golden. My clinic's proof. 97% slay stink in a month. Bath like washing a car. Smell like a new car, grandkids will tackle you like rugby champs. This ain't just tips, it's a stink-slaying epic. Society's dodging us, child ghosting us, I say. Fight back. Drop, slay that funk, you nut jobs. In the comments if you're in, smash that like button like you're crushing a fart cloud. Hit subscribe, I'm shouting out the wildest hashtag #SmellSlayer warriors next vid. Share this with your gramps, your nosy neighbor. Cause if we don't nuke this whiff, we're leaving our elders in stink limbo. Betty's twerking the path, jump in. You're the next stink-slaying legend. 4. Social stigma. When smell becomes a crime. Alright, you funk-fighting warriors, Betty's twerking her way out of Stinkville. George is jogging like a greyhound. Frank's bowling with grandkids climbing all over him. And Ruth's ready to hug again. Last time in our stink-slaying saga, I armed you with the #SmellSlayer bootcamp. Chugging water like Margaret to flush the funk. Strutting in the sun like Fred to zap the whiff. Scrubbing those sweaty armpit like a rat's nest. Hairy head like a battlefield. And ponging legs like swamp like champs. But hold your noses. Cause Dr. Henry Thompson, 77 years old, stink-busting maestro with 50 years sniffing 10,000 seniors, isn't stopping there. Today, we're peeling back the curtain on a crime stinkier than George's pre-scrub toes. Society's turning our old age pong into a felony, locking us in lonely stink jail. This ain't just about Betty twerking free, it's a wild tale of how child dodge us. buses shun us, and friends ghost us. All 'cause our whiff's a wanted outlaw. Let's dive into this stink-soaked heist. Betty's our star. And you're the getaway driver. Picture Betty Miller, 68, Florida's cuddliest grandma. Back in the dark days before she twerked her way to glory. She's in her sunny kitchen, apron tied tight, twirling little Lily like they're starring in a Pixar flick, giggles bouncing off the walls, hugs tighter than a bear trap. Then wham, Lily sniffs, scrunches her nose like she's caught a whiff of a sewer explosion, and yelps, "Grandma, you smell like a mummy's but after taco night." Betty's daughter swoops in, all flustered. Oh, it's just her special grandma scent. But Betty's heart cracks like a dropped plate. Next day, Lily's dodging her lap like it's a lava pit, sidestepping hugs like Betty's a walking fart cloud. That night, Betty's under her blanket, sobbing like a B-movie banshee. "I scrub twice a day. I'm cleaner than a nun's knickers. Why's my grandkid treating me like a trash goblin?" She rang me, voice shaking. "Dr. Henry, I'm spotless. Am I a stink convict now?" I said, "Betty, it's not you. Society's got you in stink handcuffs." Part 2 showed us why. Betty's sweat had gone on strike. Her skin oil was pumping out funky nonny-naw like a grease factory, her mouth drier than a biscuit in a dust storm. Part 3 turned her around. She chugged water like a desert camel, strutted in the sun like a funky peacock, scrubbed her armpit like a rat's nest, till Lily hugged her like glue. But before that fix, society had her on trial. Zoom out to George Carter, 71. Seattle's tittiest grandpa. His house gleamed like a showroom, but his grandkid bolted in Part 1 screeching. Wet dog drowned in dumpster juice. George's son brought buddies over, and one day, they're lounging in the living room, laughing. Then bam, a whisper hits. "Man, that old guy Pong's brutal." George overhears, slinks to his room like a kicked puppy, muttering, "Am I a garbage heap on legs?" He told me, "Dr. Henry, I'm pristine. Why's my own flesh and blood airing me out like a fart factory?" I said, "George, your whiff's a felony. Child's the judge." George didn't stop there. He shuffled to bingo night, shirt crisp, hoping for a win. His pals lean away, whispering, "George is ripe. Sit over there." He bolts home, eyes wet. "Dr. Henry, my buddies ditched me. Am I a stink monster?" I said, "No, George, society's the snob." Part 3 saved him. He scrubbed his swamp feet, strutted in the sun, and now bingo pals cheer. "You're back, fresh king." But prefix? He was a social ghost. Then there's Nancy Clark, 68. She scrubbed like a surgeon in Part 1. Yet her grandkids sprinted like she was roadkill. She hops a bus one day, soap still lingering, and boom, the seat next to her stays emptier than a haunted diner. A teen mutters, "That old lady whiffs a killer." Nancy shrinks into her scarf. "Dr. Henry, I'm cleaner than bleach. Why's the world treating me like a Pong plague?" I said, "Nancy, your smell's on society's wanted list." Now Frank Wilson, 88, our cologne-drenched desperado from Part 1, thought he'd outsmart the funk. He's lounging in his recliner, splashing scent like a perfume prince, grinning like he's Casanova. His son storms in with pals, sniffs and hollers. "Open the windows, Dad's a floral gas bomb." They're flapping shirts, coughing like Frank's a skunk in a suit. Frank slumps upstairs. "Dr. Henry, I'm a rose garden. Why's my kid acting like I'm a fart volcano?" I said, "Frank, cologne's no alibi. Society's convicting you." Part 2 showed his skin oil was a non-enol nightmare. Part 3 scrubbed his battlefield head. Now his son shuts the windows. Grandkids climb him like a pine. But before, he was stink jailbait. Ruth, 73, rounds it out. Part 2's dry mouth diva. Grandson dodging her cheese pong. She's baking cookies, apron on, and her daughter-in-law cracks the window like Ruth's a garlic fart on wheels. "Dr. Henry," she wept, "my cookies are fine. Why's my family exiling me?" I said, "Ruth, your whiff's a crime scene. Here's the stink-soaked heist. Society's turned our Pong into a death penalty. Child, don't just dodge, they sentence us." Frank's son aired him out. Nancy's daughter-in-law whispered, "She's ripe." Too spineless to say. "Mom, you pong." George's bingo pals ghosted, no guts to yell. "Wash your feet." Ruth's family shunned her mom's funky, but won't grab a sponge. Linda Harris, 69, joins the crew pre-part 3's whiskey whiff fix. Her son parked her at the table's end. "Mom's a pong nuke." Linda sobbed. "Dar. Henry, I'm family poison." I said, "Linda, they're cowards, your smell's their excuse." Buses clear out like we're fart grenades. Neighbors wave from yards, society's the crook, child the accomplices, jailing us in lonely Stinkville cause they're too chicken to face the funk. But here's the hot news to bust this stink prison wide open. J.Lo hit threads last night. "Don't let smell lock up your elders." 15M views. Her glow's a funk-free SOS. Tom Brady's flexing. "Fish keeps me out of stink jail." 10M likes. His abs are a jailbreak poster. TikTok's hashtag SmellSlayer challenge is a riot. 18M views. Grandpa's twerking post-scrub like they're busting funk bars. The Guardian's hollering. NHS says smells no crime and the exile. Betty's twerking proof she chugged water, scrubbed her armpit, and Lily's hugging like a koala. George strutted, scrubbed his swamp feet. Bingo pals beg him back. Frank lathered his battlefield head. Son's windows stay shut. Nancy's a cookie cloud. Bus seats fill. Linda's a fruit salad. Family's close. This ain't chatter, it's a stink jailbreak, and you're the mastermind. So child, listen up, stop dodging, start fighting. Betty twerked with Lily. We cooked garlic stinks toast. George jogged with his son. He scrubbed my feet. Teamwork. Frank's son ditched the windows. We shampooed. Dad pong's gone. Nancy's daughter-in-law grabbed a loofah. We scrubbed. Mom's a hug zone. Linda's son swapped rum for pears. We're a fruit squad. I told Ruth. Your family snobs, hand them soap. She laughed. They baked with me. Funk's history. Society's stigma, don't let it win. My clinic's proof. 80% of stinkslayers say families tighter. Post-fix hugs beat exile. Child, don't jail your folks. Grab water. Strut together. Scrub as a crew. Betty twerked the path. Nancy's bus buddies chat. George's bingo nights rock. Families, your funk fighting posse. Here's your jailbreak heist. Hashtag SmellSlayer challenge rolls on. 7 days. 3 steps. Chug 6 waters. Strut 20 minutes in sun. Scrub daily. 3 spots. Armpit, head, foot. Film it. Day 1 ponging like a skunk. Day 7 twerking like Betty. Tag 3 snobs. Your window flinging kid. Ghosting pal. Bus dodging jerk. Blast TikTok. X, Insta with hashtag SmellSlayer. We're at 18M views. Hit 25M by Friday. J.Lo's preaching. Brady's flexing. Don't be a stink convict. Add apples, garlic, ditch rum, and bust free. Child, scrub with your folks. Don't lock them in funk. My stats roar. Stink slaying families hug. 50% more love's the key. This ain't just a tale, it's a stink rebellion. Society's the thief. Consci the sidekicks, I say. Break out. Drop, bust that funk, you stink snobs. In the comments if you're raging, smash that like button like you're cracking stink bars. Hit subscribe, I'm shouting out the wildest hashtag SmellSlayer jailbreakers next vid. Share this with your gramps, your sneaky kid. Cause if we don't nuke this whiff, we're sentencing our elders to lonely stink death row. Betty's twerking the way, jump in. You're the next stink-free hero. 5. The end. Live well, live healthy, live crazy. Alright, you funk-slaying heroes. Betty's twerking stink-free with Lily clinging like a koala. George is jogging past his bingo skeptics. Frank's bowling with grandkids swinging from his shoulders. Nancy's filling bus seats with her cookie vibe. And Ruth's baking love back into the air. We've blasted through this stink-slaying epic. Part 1 dropped the bomb, society sniffing us out. Part 2 cracked the science, sweats on strike, skins funky, mouths are dust bowls. Part 3 armed us chugging water, strutting in sun, scrubbing armpit like a rat's nest. Part 4 exposed the heist, child and society jailing us in stink exile. Now, Dr. Henry Thompson, 77 years old. 50 years sniffing 10,000 seniors brings the grand finale. This ain't just about Pong, it's a tear-jerking, twerk-tastic plea. Kansai, see our fight against a whiff we never signed up for. Love us, stick by us, care for us while we're still kicking. Buckle up, this is the stink-slaying crescendo, and you're the heartbeat. Let's roll back to Betty Miller, 68, Florida's twerking queen. In part 1, she's under her blanket, sobbing like a discount ghost cause little Lily ditched her lap, shrieking. Grandma's a mummy fart. Betty scrubbed till her skin squeaked, doused herself in cologne like a desperate diva, nothing worked. Dr. Henry, she wept. I'm trying so hard, why's my grandkid running? Part 2 showed her sweat had bailed. Her skin oil turned rogue with noninol. Her mouth dried up like a desert rock, she didn't ask for this. Part 3 flipped it, she chugged water like a parched camel, strutted in the sun like a funky peacock, scrubbed her armpit like a rat's nest, till it gleamed. Now Lily's hugging her tight, giggling. Grandma's my teddy bear, but here's the gut punch, Betty whispered. I'd have scrubbed my soul if I could, I just wanted her love back. Child, hear that? Your granny's waging a stink war she hates, don't let her fight alone. Next up, George Carter, 71, Seattle's tidy titan. Part 1 had his grandkid bolting. Wet dog in a trash smoothie. His son's buddies gagged in the living room. George polished his house till it sparkled, showered till he pruned still. Bingo pals ghosted in part 4, muttering, he's ripe. Dr. Henry, he groaned. I'm busting my hump, YMIA stink outcast. Part 2 revealed his sweat glands had retired. Part 3 turned him around, he scrubbed his swamp feet, jogged under dawn rays, chugged water, till he sloshed. Now his grandkid yells, Grandpa's a fresh breeze. George teared up. I'd have run to the stars to keep them close, I despise this funk. Child, feel that? Your grandpa's racing a whiff he can't outrun, don't leave him gasping solo. Then Frank Wilson, 88, our cologne-soaked soldier. Part 1 showed his son flinging windows open like Frank was a fart volcano. Frank splashed scent like a perfume king, thinking he'd dodge the whiff. Nothing! Dr. Henry, he begged. I'm drowning in rose juice, why's my kid treating me like a gas leak? Part 2 exposed his skin oil pumping non-enol like a grease factory. Part 3 saved him, he ditched cologne, lathered his battlefield head, till it shone. Now his son shuts the windows, grandkids climb him like a pine tree. But Frank choked up. I sprayed till I stank of desperation, I just wanted my boy near. Child, see that? Your dad's battling a Pong he loathes, don't let him drown in it alone. Nancy Clark, 68, joins the fray. Part 1 had her grandkids sprinting like she was roadkill, despite scrubbing like a surgeon. Bus seats stayed empty in part 4, teens whispering, old lady whiffs brutal. Dr. Henry, she cried. I'm cleaner than bleach, why's the world shunning me? Part 3 turned her into a cookie cloud. She chugged water, strutted, scrubbed. Now seats fill, grandkids snuggle. But Nancy sighed. I'd have scrubbed till my hands bled, I just wanted a hug. Ruth, 73, seals at Part 2's dry-mouth diva, grandson dodging her cheese Pong. Part 4 showed her daughter-in-law airing out the kitchen. Ruth baked cookies, desperate to please, but got sidelined. Dr. Henry, she sobbed. I'm trying, why am I exiled? Her fix is coming, but she whispered, I'd give anything to smell like love. Child, catch that? Your mom's fighting a funk she dreads, don't push her away. Here's the heart-wrenching truth. We old-timers aren't choosing this if it's a traitor sneaking up after 60. Betty scrubbed, George jogged, Frank lathered, Nancy chugged, Ruth baked. We're clawing against a stink we despise, praying you'll stay. Part 4 showed society jailing us, child dodging, buses clearing, friends ghosting, but we're not the crooks. We're your grannies, dads, moms battling biology to keep you close. Linda Harris, 69, rounds at Part 3's whiskey whiff fix, her son Parker at the table's end. Mom's a Pong nuke, she sobbed. Dr. Henry, I'd quit breathing to stop this, I just want my boy's hug. Part 3 made her a fruit salad, now they snuggle. Child, don't you see? We're breaking our backs, love us while we're here. Hot new, you tear-stained warriors. J.Low hit threads. My grandma fought stink, hug her kids. 18M views. Her glow's a love SOS. Tom Brady flexed. Fish keeps me huggable. 12M likes. His abs scream family. TikTok's hashtag Smell Slayer challenge is wild. 20M views. Granny's twerking post scrub. Grandkids leaping in. The Guardians crying. NHS says smells no sin, love your elders. Betty's twerking proof, she scrubbed her armpit. Lily's glued to her. George jogs. My grandkid runs with me. Frank bowls. My son hugs me. Nancy's bus buddies chat. Linda's family cuddles. Ruth's next. This ain't hype, it's a stink-slaying love fest. And you're the glue. Child, this is your wake-up call. Stop dodging. Start loving. Betty didn't twerk alone. Lily's mom scrubbed with her, giggling. We're a team. George's son jogged beside him. Dad, you're my champ. Frank's boy ditched Windows. We shampooed Pop Pong's history. Nancy's daughter-in-law baked with her. Mom's a cookie queen. Linda's son swapped rum for pears. We're a fruit crew. Ruth's fix hits next. Imagine her baking with her daughter-in-law. Grandkid hugging. Grandma's love smells sweet. I told Betty. Your family's your funk posse. She beamed. We cooked garlic stinks toast. My clinic's proof. 90% of stink slayers say families tighter post-fix hugs crush exile. Child, don't jail us. Grab soap, chug water, bake with us. Love us while we're still kicking. Here's the high note. Hashtag Smell Slayer challenge lives on. 7 days. 3 steps water, sun. Scrub 3 spots, film it. Day 1 ponging like a skunk. Day 7 twerking like Betty. Tag 3 Dodgers your window flinging kid. Ghosting pal. Hug shy niece. Blast TikTok. X Insta with hashtag Smell Slayer. We're at 20M views, hit 30M by Friday. J.Low's pleading. Brady's flexing, don't let us fight solo. Add apples, garlic, ditch rum, and hug us tight. Child, care while you can. Betty twerks. Till 90, George jogs. Till 100, I want Ruth baking. At 95 with grandkids cheering. My stats sing. Stink-slaying families hug. 60% more love's the cure. This ain't just a finale, it's a heart-pounding vow. We're not stink bombs, we're your legends. Fighting for your love. Drop love beats funk. You hug Dodgers. In the comments if this hits your soul, smash that like button like you're crushing stink jail. Hit subscribe, I'm shouting out the wildest hashtag Smell Slayer huggers next vid. Share this with your gramps, your sneaky kids. Support this channel. Cause if we don't slay this whiff together, we're losing our elders to lonely funk graves. Betty's twerking, George's jogging. Love us, care for us, be with us while we're still here.